how'd you get into production?
Well, actually, in 1994, that's when I started writing rhymes. So, like most MCs who need beats, sometimes it's hard to find somebody who's making beats. So then, yeah, I guess out of necessity, you're forced to start making beats. So that's what I did. So, start asking around at high school, and people were telling me to check out Chuck Levin's or some places like that, and look at some samplers. And like the ASR 10 at the time was what most of my friends were using, but I couldn't afford it, so I just went in Chuck Levin's in Wheaton and just looked at some samplers and looked at prices and see what I could afford. It was actually it was a Gemini mixer, and it had like a 12-second sampler on like the bottom of it. It couldn't even save a sample, but just for the time being, like as long as the machine was on, you could press the button and loop it. You know what I'm saying?
Who are your production influences?
I'll start off by saying the 45 King, Pete Rock, Premier, Eric Sermon, and Knots.
Yeah. If you were trapped in the studio with the MC for a week to make an album, who would it be?
I thought about that, and Chip Fu.
Really, from the Foo Schnickens?
Chip Fu.
Why?
Because first of all, he's versatile. He's still current, and he comes from that '90s era. So, and like, it's not just because I like his style and his versatility and his flow, but like thinking about my beats with his vocals, I think I got some stuff, that he could complement.
Superior blend. Superior blend. Superior blend.
This is going to be on the Capital Location Project.
Superior blend.
I'm going right into the outro of it. The beat changes, so I'm gonna let y'all hear that.
Superior blend. Superior blend.
That's dope.
It's like if somebody wants to tell another version of the same story, or like later that evening or later that night, this will happen. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about your production equipment. What do you use to produce?
This baby right here, the MPC 1000, which I bought in 2006. Been using it ever since. And Techniques 1200s for my DJing, well, sampling and cutting. Because I usually do I do scratch courses a lot. This is my tracking board, which is a 24 track Tascam. has a lot of effects, and it's fairly easy to use, and you can master, mix down, bounce tracks. It's pretty dope for what it costs. This is an MP7 by Emu, which is not really working right now, but has some good sound effects. So I'm one who I like making bass lines from what do they do? Filtering samples, But I also like to be more creative, and this allows me to actually create a bass line with original sounds, an original bass. And been doing this for like 3 years, so you get a live bass when you hear my beats. Well, what I usually do is I'll sample some drums. So go to A. Here, like some drums. Some they're chopped differently. Some got like the breakdown. What else I got? I like to throw in some vocal samples just to kind of hype it up for the chorus. Some guitar sounds and some other instruments in there, I don't know. I might take one sound and slow it down. Like this one is just a slower version of that.
And I'm assuming all your drums come from vinyl.
Yep. Unless somebody has some drums on CD, they just shoot them to me, and no one will know that they're from a CD, but
right.
But most of my drums come from old records, breakbeat records too.
Audience, speaking your mind. As a youngin', hugging this vision kept me from losing it. Put the negative influences behind as we grind. Besides raising my